American Psycho, directed by Mary Harron and starring Christian Bale, Jared Leto, Willem Dafoe, and Reese Witherspoon. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Fanatics. I'm Brayden, and yes, we are finally here in October, and I'm kicking off my Sunday October reviews by talking about a movie I just saw for the first time a few weeks ago, and that is, of course, American Psycho, a movie that is such an experience. And for all my reviews this October, I'm not going to be spoiling anything. This is going to be as level-headed as I can. I'm just going to tell you briefly about the movie and some of my thoughts, and that's it. No spoilers, but if you've never seen American Psycho, I highly recommend it. It is such an experience, and it's a way better experience completely unspoiled. That's basically how I viewed the movie, completely unspoiled, and that is the best way to experience this film. Now, back in 2000, when this film was initially released, it was met with a ton of backlash, people calling it all sorts of random names, calling it sexist towards men and stuff. It's a movie that was based upon a book that was equally as divisive, and that's really why the movie works so well, is that it's a study about men, and about men in the 80s, and how corrupt and how power and money hungry and greedy they were. And that's what the movie's about. It's like, people criticize it for that back then, and nowadays this movie's so loved because it takes that look and takes that direction towards men. And it's all about how these men are just, there's nothing under their outside persona. It's like past their good looks, there's nothing. And that's where the movie really shines, because it is a character study of this character. Patrick Bateman, played brilliantly by Christian Bale. Of the movies I've seen Christian Bale in, this is the best performance I've ever seen him give. Christian Bale owns this role and perfectly encapsulates what the book and the screenplay wanted, was a study of men in the 80s, and a character study of that. And Christian Bale plays everything so well, from being kind of a rich playboy businessman who I think is some sort of stockbroker or something, to at night, of course, he kills people. And both sides to that character work so well in this film. And again, the character study is a constant thing throughout this film. And the character study of men, again, like, I'm not just saying that to say that. This is a character study of men in the 80s, and looking at one fictional man in particular, of course, Patrick Bateman, and how their minds worked back then. And this movie shines in that aspect because it's a horror movie, but it's also just a study. It's a drama. It's a movie that's so many different things, but it works so well. And it, of course, works because Christian Bale is committed. And my gosh, does he knock it out of the park with this film. It is such a fantastic performance, and it is such a performance that you can't imagine anyone else giving besides Christian Bale in this role. And Patrick Bateman is such an interesting character because he encapsulates everything that the script and the film need. I love all of these characters. Of course, you have Jared Leto playing Paul Allen, the kind of head of this company that Patrick Bateman works for, and that they're at odds throughout the entire film. You have Willem Dafoe as the cop investigating Patrick Bateman. And an interesting thing about his character, I think in the behind the scenes, the director talks about how they shot it in like 3 different ways. Like, the first way is this character doesn't suspect Patrick Bateman at all, and then they would do it again to where his character maybe suspects Patrick Bateman did it, and then there's the third way where he fully suspects Patrick Bateman did it, and he knows that he killed these people. And they just mixed all 3 performances, and it works so well because Willem Dafoe is one of the best actors of our generation. He's great in it. Even Reese Witherspoon, in the very small role that she has as Patrick Bateman's fiance, she's great in the small role that she's given. It's always nice to see her on screen, and especially in a movie like this, it's a very interesting casting choice, but it works so well. Just the directing and the cinematography and the writing are all so strong, and you can tell it was kind of based upon a book, but they did their own thing with it, and that's why everything works so well, is that they stuck to the book, I think, for the most part. I don't know for sure, but they did their own thing. And that's what I love about adaptations of books to the screen, is that they do their own thing while keeping aspects of the books. That works great. Now, this movie is very explicit and very violent, but a lot of the violence that you don't see a lot of the violence, which is why I really enjoyed this film. Is that I love gory slasher movies and stuff, but a movie like this doesn't need to see the full impact of an axe or a knife. A lot of the kills are either like cutaways to Patrick Bateman's face or just really zoomed out. Sequence in an alleyway that's very zoomed out. And that, they shoot all the kills and violence in various ways, to where either it cuts away, it cuts to like a next scene where it already happened, or it's very zoomed out or tilted at an angle or something. And I would love, there's so many great scenes, but obviously the scene when Patrick Bateman takes Paul Allen, who is completely drunk, back to his apartment. That whole scene is the standout scene of the film. That entire scene in Patrick Bateman's apartment with Paul Allen, played by Jared Leto, is a great scene. It is that scene is basically the cover of the movie in a way. It's been memed to death, but their whole conversation about Huey Lewis in the news and everything is amazing. And just this film just really, it came out in a time in the 2000s where movies still knew how to make a great film, yet to have fun with it, not take itself seriously. Because if you sit down and watch this movie, either by yourself or with a group of people that are expecting to take a movie completely seriously, you will not get it. If you sit down to American Psycho expecting to just have fun and be on this wild ride of insanity for an hour and 40 minutes, you will really enjoy this film. It's a great spooky-ish movie. It's not really spooky, but it's a movie that gets you in the mood for October. It's not a straight-out horror movie, but there is horror in it. It's more of a drama thriller with some horror aspects, and it just, everything from the commentary of the time to the character study to the various ways Patrick Bateman kills people. This movie is just brilliant. It's inventive. It's exciting. It's entertaining, engaging, any other word. So much fun to watch from start to finish. And American Psycho absolutely gets an A+. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys look forward to the rest of my Sunday, October reviews. I have so much fun doing these videos every year. This is, of course, my favorite month of the year. I adore Halloween time, the build up to it, and I'm going to be doing many more spooky movie reviews, so stay tuned for that. Look forward to all those, and I will see you next time. This has been Brayden from the Movie Fanatics, signing off.